Rift.
What is up, guys? It is TK Whopper, and we're going to be doing another tutoring. We are going to be tutoring this game. Cre8v? Don't exactly know what that name is. So we will turn off purple frames and blue stuff. He's going longsword and 3 health potions.
30 seconds.
On Zed, alright. Generally, on Zed, the item build I open up with is Doran Shield, but that's because most mids are range, and you kind of need the extra health, regeneration, and reduced damage from auto attacks on Doran Shield to survive the ranged poke and get minions without falling behind. And you're not really going to be killing them practically before you get some items, so it's not that bad to start with a defensive item. Now, starting longsword, 3 potions has its ups and downs compared to the Doran Shield. It's got more AD, but you have less health regeneration, less base health, which means it's easier to burst you, and also you don't take the reduced damage from auto attacks. So you're basically taking and regenerating a lot less health with the longsword. But the plus sides, you get 3 potions instead of just 1 potion, so that's 300 extra health in the lane. But that's 300 health over a long period of time. Doran Shield gives you an extra 100 base health. So this is netting you 200 health over the Doran Shield. But you're just a lot squishier in general because you don't get the reduced damage from auto attacks. But when you're versing a melee mid, longsword is not a bad idea because you'll get your bilge rod and cutlass up earlier because you didn't have to start with that Doran Shield, and auto attack poke is a lot less prevalent. Okay, right now he's level 2. She's 2, so he's got to be careful because she's got shield. Alright, yeah. Levels mean so much, and I was actually talking about this in my last tutoring too. You have to be really careful in the mid lane, especially in the early levels, around having a level advantage / disadvantage. In that lane, wow, it is 0 and 3 in the first 2 minutes. That is something else. In every single lane, the early levels matter so much because the difference between 1 and 2 and then 2 and 3, you get a whole nother ability, generally. You get an entire nother ability. So Zed, all he had there was Q. Diana had her Q and her shield, which means not only does she have more damage than him because she has a shield, she's also tankier. No, because she has the little orbs that follow around her. She's also tankier, so it's easier for her to win. A level at the early, in the early game just matters so much, so much. He's got to practice CSing, especially with Zed. It's relatively easy to CS because his passive executes lower health targets. Alright, right there, he used his W, and then his Q to poker. I don't really know why I'm pausing, because I was going to check jungler. He used his W and his Q to poker, which is not generally the best idea, because, no. There we go. Right now, they have no tabs on Volibear. Now, I haven't really been paying attention, but I haven't seen Volibear in a while. And he has Flash, I'm pretty sure. No, he does not Flash. He wasted Flash in the last engage. So, he has no tabs on Volibear. His only escape is on cooldown, which is, well, his only summoner spell that would help him escape, Flash, is on cooldown. And his only escape built into his kit, he just used. That's in general risky, because if right now Volibear came from here, he would have nothing to defend himself with, and he'd probably get killed. Now, that's not always going to happen, and I'm not saying never use your escape if the jungler is there, but when the jungler could be there, you gotta play passively so stuff like that doesn't happen. Now, Volibear ended up coming like a couple seconds too late, so he didn't actually get the kill. But if Volibear had been there 2-3 seconds earlier, he could easily be dead right now. And so that's stuff you got to watch out for when you're playing any lane. If you don't have like wards everywhere, you have to be careful about using your escapes when you don't have flash up, because it's just a lot riskier. If you have flash up, that's fine, because even if you get ganked, you're probably going to live. And so, but don't take what I just said there and take it to mean never use my W if my flash is on cooldown. The only main reason I had said that was, 1, he was pushed. 2, I hadn't seen Volibear in a while. We had no tabs on him. He could easily be coming mid because the lane was pushed. And 3, the W really didn't do that much more. If it got off a significant amount of poke, or you like really needed to clear a wave or something, I can see doing that. But in just a little poke thing like that was not bad because he's pushed to his tower, so he doesn't need his W. But in general, you want to be careful about using your escape when you have no tabs on the jungler and flashes down. He missed that CS. You gotta just practice CSing. It's really important. And if you really want to practice CSing, you can just go into a custom game to do it. Just go into a custom game, try and practice CSing with either like just your auto attacks or just Q on Zed, and just try and get as many as possible. I've said this in a lot of my other tutoring, so you should probably just watch another Zed tutoring if you want to learn more. Alright, there, Jarvan, I'm not even gonna tutor that. I mean, he's following up, which is stupid, because there was no reason. Alright, he's got to walk back and ignite. He could have gone to his clone there, auto ignited her. He probably would have died, but he would have gotten the kill. Okay, so right there was no reason. He's going back. It doesn't matter. After Jarvan came in and failed the gank, Jarvan without a red buff, only CC, other than the very, very light CC from his W, is his knockup. If he misses it, his gank is pretty much over unless the laner can provide some CC. And Zed has no CC except for another very soft CC slow. So, something you want to be careful if he's going to kill them both here. He could have. Zed isolated damage is ridiculous. I almost possibly could have. Anyways. What was I saying? Wait, let me pause. Oh yeah, after Jarvan failed his gank, he has no CC, which means if Zed leaves lane and misses minions to try and follow up, there's no point to doing that because Diana can easily get away just by walking away from him. And Jarvan's not going to do anything in that gank. And Diana didn't run away, which means she obviously can't 1v2 at this point. Maybe if she was level 6 she could have, but at this point she can't 1v2, and so if she turns to fight, it probably means that Volibear is in the vicinity. Which is why, after your Jarvan fails a gank like that, you shouldn't follow up, especially when the Diana looks like she even wants you to follow up. When the Diana's staying to fight, that means Volibear is probably there, and there's no reason to miss minions for that. So he knows about this volley. He's got to be a little cautious. He can take that and... Alright, whatever. He can just hit that. Yep. Get that minion. Get that minion. He messed up that. If he had just auto-attacked that one and waited for the turret to hit that, he could be eating killed. Now, he's got to be careful here because he just failed his W. Something he's doing a lot, which is not good, is making it clear he has a ward in that push. Earlier in the game, Volibear was there, and he shurikened Volibear, which provoked Volibear to use his scanner and clear the ward in the bush. If you have an enemy warded, a lot of times you don't want to use like some weak ability on them. Like a ZQ does, it was level 3, so it was a level 1 ZQ. It did like 70 damage. That really doesn't affect the game in any way, but it gives the Volibear information this bush is warded. And that allows him to scanner and then clear your ward. If he hadn't done that Q, not only could he have wasted Volibear's time by like... Alright. This is actually an important thing that I haven't said in any of my tutorings before, so it's good. Wasting an enemy using wards to your advantage is really helpful. Alright, if you have a ward in the bush, candy cane ward, how cute, and you're overextended, the jungler is probably going to gank you. So you're going to want to be playing passive. Let's say you're like in the middle of the lane, and you have the ward here, and you see the jungler. Let's say the only way the jungler is going to be able to kill you is if you go in on her. If you go in on the enemy. What you don't want to do is immediately run away. Because not only does that tell him it's warded, because there's no motive for you to immediately run away like that, but he also has no way of killing you unless you go aggressive. What you want to do is like feign being aggressive, play like a little aggressive, not super defensive, but make sure the jungler can't kill you. So that way he thinks that it's not warded, and you're going to go aggressive any second now, and he's going to get a kill. That's what the enemy jungler is thinking. But really, you know that it's warded, and you're just making him waste his time sitting in that bush, making his buff durations run out, doing nothing for his team, all by having that ward. What you don't want to do is walk up and just Q the jungler once. Because I was like, okay, I know it's warded. No point in wasting my time here. He's not going to go aggressive if he knows I'm here. And he's just going to leave jungle, gank some other lane. What you want to do when you have a ward in a bush is waste the jungler's time. Make them think they can kill you, but ensure that they never can. Again, he could have gotten that. You always want to kill the minion that the turret is targeting first. So that way, your auto attack might like reload by the time the minion goes to the next one. Alright, that was a really bad WQ. The only time you want to WQ a wave without a champion in it if you really need to push fast, but even then you want to make sure you get the minions. Only really do that if you can get the minions with it. And when you're WQing to push the wave, make sure your W is on the enemy minions, so that way when you E and it comes from the shadow as well, it helps you push. Cause their only chance, but he's got no CS anyways. Diana's pretty. Oh no, no one has good CS in this game. Diana's a weird champion. I don't even know. Alright, he should have said Mia and then started roaming immediately. Because as soon... What? Dunked? Oh, he zoomed. Doesn't even matter, actually. He's going to get that auto off right here, and then they're going to kill her. Just watch. Yeah. The amount of damage is ridiculous. Alright. Yeah, okay, that was a mistake. Something you got to do as a mid laner and as in any role, you can't be slow on the draw. Right there, as soon as Diana left, as soon as your laner leaves, you have to think to yourself, what could she be doing? Could she be going to take Ray? Should she be going to roam? Should she be going to take blue? Could she just be leaving to like ward or something? And whatever she does, you have to have an immediate response to it. If she's going to take blue, maybe go and try and steal blue. If she's going to take race, push the lane so she misses some minions under tower. If she's going to roam, either immediately push the lane, try and take tower or put damage on it, or immediately counter roam and follow the Diana. What you can't do is see her leave lane and then see her appear at the place she's roaming to. Like, he left lane when he saw her come up there. By that time, she had already gained so much ground on him that Nautilus, like Kha'Zix and Jarvan, had dealt with Diana by the time he had actually gotten there. So something you can't do is slow reactions. If you think they're doing something, immediately respond to it. Or if you want to play safer, just stay in lane. Just don't leave lane at all. Because he missed minions, he missed experience by going to try and deal with that Diana, but he did nothing by doing that, because they had already dealt with her. If he had left immediately with her, he could have gotten an assist at least. But the way he left slowly was very detrimental to him. Jarvan's actually beast moding. Alright, see, him coming bot here is really wasted. If Diana hadn't left, now Diana did leave, but if Diana hadn't left lane, she could have just pushed down the tower, gotten more experience than him, gotten more CS than him, and just generated an advantage. Because right here, he's splitting XP among 4 people. He's getting basically nothing. And he's splitting minions among 4 people. He's getting basically nothing. And even with 4 people, because 2 of them are so low, they have no feasible way of diving the tower. He's going to want to ult her. He can E her. Alright, I don't know what that was. Alright, he's got that. He can go back to his ult clone. Oh no, it went away. That was a good flash, because it got away from the Volibear thing, and it got away from the, I don't know if he wanted to W away there, because there was no feasible way he could get Diana, and then he ended up abandoning Jarvan. He's just going to want to walk straight back to this tower right here, because he's got no CC. Turning is risky. Yeah, see. I don't like turning in general. It's just a riskier move, and it's not always good. I mean, that's not true. I don't like turning unless I'm very confident in my ability to outplay, or it's like I want to practice outplaying people. In ranked, if I don't feel confident, I just wouldn't do it. I just play safe, just go back to your tower. So yeah, him going bot there, if Diana had stayed mid, she didn't. But if Diana had stayed mid, she would have generated a huge advantage in gold and experience and gotten damage down on his tower. While he went bot and got nothing for himself. Before you roam, I'm always alright. If you don't know who Meteos is, it was in one of my most recent tutorings. I explained Meteos style jungling. I think in the Blind Monk's tutoring. So watch that and you'll hear my Meteos explanation. You can use a Meteos style play for mid lane, which a lot of people don't realize. If you don't know, Meteos style jungling is just hyper efficient jungling. He only goes to the lanes if he knows it will succeed. That's just a brief summary. Still watch the Blind Monk. I go into more depth. So you can do that for mid lane. Except instead of the difference between ganking and farming the jungle, is just farming the lane and roaming. I really hate roaming if you don't know if it's going to be successful or not. Because let's say you go mid, have to walk all the way down here, realize it's warded, fail the gank, have to walk all the way back up. You may have missed 6 minions in that time. That's an entire wave of gold, which is half a kill, like 150 gold. Or maybe it's not that much. It's like 120, 100 gold, whatever. If it's a siege wave, it's like 150. And you got nothing for yourself. You didn't get experience, you didn't get gold, you just wasted all that time going by. And I don't like doing that because then your laner, by the time you get back, has an advantage on you. If your laner never leaves lane and you try and roam and help your team like 3 times, he's going to be a lot ahead of you if your roams fail. And even if they do succeed, yeah, it helps your bot lane, but it's really not that great because you just missed out on a lot of experience because minions in general give more experience and kills. Yeah, for the most part. That's not entirely true, but if someone's roaming the entire game and someone's staying mid will probably out XP them. So that's the reason I don't like roaming as much as this guy is doing it, because he's roaming late, which is a terrible thing to do, and he's also roaming inefficiently. Only time when you really want to roam is when you know you're going to be needed or you're going to help. He's doing it in a non-efficient manner, and a lot of times when he roams, he gets nothing out of it. So pushing a tower down is good because he has such a roaming playstyle. But the playstyle I prefer when you're playing mid is immediately push out the wave, go take Wraiths. By the time you finish that, next wave will be there. Take Wraiths, then take Wolves, and maybe take their Wraiths or whatever. Because if you take the tower doing that strategy, when you immediately push out the wave, your wave has to walk all the way down to here to be killed by the tower. And then after you finish Wraiths, the waves won't be meeting in the middle as they are if you didn't take their tower. He should just stop chasing this. It's a chain vest. This isn't even, he's not going to get anything out of this either. He's playing, oh, that tower's dead. Never mind, I didn't know that. Sorry. I actually do that a lot, which is pretty embarrassing. Like, even in actual games, like, I just don't realize towers are dead. Because generally, the bot lane's been here a lot. They've been pushing, they've been fighting a lot down here. And you just wouldn't think that the tower's dead. And I don't ever really look. I look at my other lanes like the champions, but I don't really look at the towers that much, so I didn't notice. Alright, they want to be very cautious here because Diana is very strong and they cannot win this 3v3 in any way. So he wants to go to that clone and then... Well, they did actually all focus him, so... Twitch does some serious... Oh, Twitch got a BT. Actually, it's 60 minutes in. That's kind of expected. Oh, he has an agility cloak. I think he got some lucky crits in. Well, they won that. I am surprised. Dunk. That was beautiful. I made a mistake there. I did not think they would be able to do that. But something you have to do is admit your mistakes. Like I said, I recognize that a Twitch with BT, Zergers, and Agility Croak is extremely strong when 3 people, now, I know this now, when 3 people line up for his ultimate. And he does a lot of damage even in the early game. Because Twitch is generally considered a really late game hyper carry, but not as strong early game. But now I know that he does that kind of damage. And that's the kind of stuff you have to do when you're playing solo queue or really at all. You have to recognize why you made your mistake, what your mistake is, and how to not make it in the future. From now on, I know that Twitch destroys at level 6 in an AoE line formation. Which I kind of already knew, but now I've seen it in action, and it's probably more in my nature now. Because if you don't admit your mistakes and make an excuse every time, what, Nautilus? What? Alright, something he did there. It's slight, and he's still gonna get the kill. But if you're going to ult on someone, right there he used his E and his Q, and then he ulted. You want to ult first because his Q is on like 5-second cooldown, something like that. Yeah, 5.4 seconds, and his ult lasts 6 seconds. Which means if you ult immediately Q, you will be able to get 2 Qs off before your mark goes off. Which means if you don't know what Zed's ult does, it does double damage with the ult marks. Like the damage you dealt to them while the mark is on is how much the mark deals. You can pretty much just ignore Volibear here. Yeah. Putting that shadow down early is a little risky. Nah, he's dead here. Actually, he should just run to this wall and flash over. See, he should just run to this. Nah, that was bad. What you never want to do in a situation like this against a champion like Volibear is flash in a way that's not going to get you over wall, because Volibear has insanely good chase. And now what I mean by this is he, with his Q, oh, that was beautiful. He should Q. He did a little mistake there again. Dead. Okay. First of all, when he had the shadows up, he should have Q'd in between. He should have put his cursor right on Diana, so the shadow clone would have hit her, and then hitting her from the back, and his Q would have hit her from the front. But anyway, against a champion like Volibear, who has really good sustained chase, because his Q gets extra move speed when he's chasing someone, you don't want to flash just in a straight line, because he will catch up with you. It is inevitable. The only way to get away from champions like that, Akali is another instance, but she can ult over walls, so that's different. Another instance is Singed. That's good. The only way to get away from champions like that is to flash over walls. If you're not flashing over walls, it's extremely hard to get away, because they will beat you in the sustained chase. That passive. Oh, he's gonna go ham. You can see it in his eyes. He should just fly in. Oh, that's not smart. He shouldn't have flied in back there. That would have been extremely ballsy. So yeah, you gotta flash over walls. That's the only way to get away from that. Oh yeah, and as I was saying about the ult thing, you want to ult and then immediately Q, so you get 2 Qs in the time of your ultimate. This is a mistake a lot of Zed players, including myself, make, is use all your abilities like, oh, they're pretty low, I can probably kill them with ult, and then ult afterwards. Because if you ult later, when all your abilities are on cooldown, you're not going to be getting as much use out of that Deathmark ult, and it's just not going to be as efficient. I don't really like DFG Diana. I don't know. It's not bad, I guess, but no, that's good. If you know how to do the ult Q thing on Diana, where you ult to them and then Q right before you land, so you get the refresh, then it's good. But if you don't, then it's not good, because in general, for Diana to full to 0 you, she's got to hit the Q on you and then ult in. What I was thinking is, if you have to hit the Q for it to succeed, that means that you have to use a significant portion of your damage before the DFG extra magic damage mark activates, which is kind of a waste. But I don't know what that was. But if you can do the thing where you ult to them, I thought he ulted, that was weird. If you do the thing where you ult to them and then Q midair, you can also DFG midair before both your ultimate damage and your Q damage land, which is very helpful. And actually, I don't think DFG missile speed is high enough to do that. So never mind, I retract my former statement. I don't like DFG on Diana. Lichbane is really good, because if you ult Q in with your passive up on Diana, it does so much damage, it is ridiculous. And then auto attack once, obviously, because you gotta get the Lichbane proc and stuff. That Lux War, I love him. And he's dead. She's got Zhonya's. Okay, never mind. In general, you don't want to ult on the guy. Alright, Zed can be hard, because he's one of the few champions that gets really countered by an item. 3 items to be exact. Guardian Angel, obnoxious for Zed. But that's obnoxious for every AD, for every burster, so that's kind of the exception. Banshee's Veil isn't that bad, because all you have to do is like proc it with a Q and then wait a couple seconds and go in with the ultimate. But QSS is good against him because it clears his ult. So if you're trying to alt their AD carry and full to zero him, which you are going to be doing a lot, he's got Schmieder. Mercurial Schmieder is what I call it. I don't even know what it's really called. And then, whoop-de-doo, your ult is cleared, and you're probably not going to be able to full to zero him. Or, if they're playing a mid laner, they're just going to get Zhonya's, and that's what a lot of people get anyways. And it's extremely hard to kill someone as Zed when they have Zhonya. Because they can Zhonya's the proc, well, they can Zhonya's the proc of your ultimate. But even more likely, they're going to Zhonya's the detonation of your ultimate, which is a large portion of your damage, because it's literally half your damage. Because if you use all your spells on them, your ult deals as much as you dealt to them during that time, and it doubles your damage. So, it's very hard to get kills, or to play Zed, when there are items in the game that are so efficient against him. But the reason that he is still a very strong champion is because he can stay in the back of the fight, put in his W shadow, hit E, get the cooldown reduction on his W, throw out Shuriken, and still be kind of a nuisance and poke at range without having to go all in. He can also wait for them to use Zhonya / Schmieder, go in and kill anyone, because his single target burst is insane. And his laning phase at 6 gets really strong. It's hard to lane against him, and his roam is really good as well. But, as I said, meteor style roaming, make sure you're not constantly doing that. So that's why Zed is still a strong champion, even though so many items are great against him. This Jarvan is huge. What even? It's ridiculous. Never seen a Jarvan get this huge. They have Kha'Zix and Zed. It's kind of bad. Kha'Zix and Zed are basically the same champion. Like, they serve the exact same purpose in a team. And having two of them is very wasted. In terms of builds, which I haven't touched on, Blade, first item, always want to get it. Reasoning behind that is that the Blade active, and also Ignite, which some people don't know, work with your ultimate, which means the damage you dealt to them with Ignite, the damage you dealt to them with Blade gets doubled by your ultimate. So that's why that's such a good item. Mobility boots are always good. Maybe you want to go Merc Treads on Zed sometimes, when either you're against like a Veigar and you can't be bursted down and CC to death, or when you're against a other person, or when you're against just anyone with a lot of CC or magic damage that can kill you fast, and you don't need the roaming ability as much. Like, MOBAs are useless late game. They're still good, but they're more for the laning phase, roaming, mid game kind of thing. BF Sword is good. He's probably gonna go into BT. I'll go either way on Zed. They definitely know. There's no reason Volver would be hanging around and not just walking up to check if they didn't know. I like Ravenous Hydra on Zed because, again, the active, alright, that was a really big waste. You never want to ult someone like that who's definitely going to die, and he even ulted after he queued anyway, so he's not getting the full damage out of it. You want to ult later. I mean, you want to ult someone who you actually need the damage on the kill. You got greedy. That's not good. They might fall off here, because Jarvan's a lot of their damage and a lot of their tankiness. So once he dies, they're kind of a lot weaker. I hate this. Xerxes is terrible. Like, you would want to go Merc Treads because he didn't get the Spirit of the Ancient Golem, so he doesn't have the tenacity. He should so much have Merc Treads right now. It's ridiculous. Anyways. This guy. Oh yeah, BF Sword. Now BT and Ravenous Hydra, I'm kind of lenient on that. I haven't decided yet. If you get Hydra, your wave clear is insane. And also, the active from Hydra, if you activate it when you go in with your ultimate, is doubled, like everything else. He can get this and not die. Alright, he's not going to. No, that was really bad. He took way too long to do that. He's not going to be able to live this. If he had brought him to the bush, immediately killed it, and then W'd away, he could have left the W shadow there, and as they walked by, E and double slow them, and then walked away. But what he did was he waited too long and actually turned back to get it. You can't run and then come back and then try and live. He didn't even shadow, so that was bad. So yeah, Hydra isn't bad because you can use the active. It gives 75 AD, which is only 25 less than a fully stacked BT. it gives 4% less lifesteal than a fully stacked BT. Yes, no, 6% less lifesteal than a fully stacked BT. But the lifesteal is kind of a secondary thing. You don't really need it. And you can actually get both Hydra and BT, but it's, for the most part, one or the other. It is your lifesteal attack damage item. It's your core item that does that. So it's either way. And the BT costs less gold, so it's not as bad, but you gotta stack it more. So it is, so it's worse. So it's really a matter of opinion which one you want. I would say go Hydra when they all have area of effect stuff. I mean when they're grouping a lot or whatever, or if you really need the wave clear. But in general, you can do either one. It's just opinion. If you're bad at managing your active items, or if you don't even want to deal with that, just get BT. It's a very reasonable substitute. After he gets that item, he got a brutalizer early. That's good cooldown reduction and attack damage and armor penetration. All three very good stats on Zed. So after you get your blade, you either want to go into Black Cleaver if you're getting really fed, because if you're getting really fed, or if someone on your team like Jarvan is getting really fed, you know they're going to be building armor, which means you're going to have to get armor penetration up. So that's why Black Cleaver is not bad. BT is not bad either, because it's just a lot of straight damage. But I would say for the most part, if a lot of AD champions are going fed, you're going to want to finish the Black Cleaver before that. And in addition to them having a Diana who's a lot of burst, the tankiness, the health from the Black Cleaver is not bad in any way. And then after that, you generally want to finish the other one, as in if you finish Black Cleaver, get BF Sword / Hydra. If you finish BF Sword / Hydra, get the Black Cleaver. And then you either want to move into Last Whisper, maybe Guardian Angel if you like have to dive in to be useful and you always immediately die, because that's not a bad item at all for the durability, especially on Zed, someone who has to go all in. He doesn't want to ult the Leona here. He wants to ult the no one. No, he wants to ult her. See. Yeah, okay. Blah blah blah, he's dying, he died. That was an interesting fight. Oh, that was good, that was good. He can leap over that. He should leap over that. See, this is a mistake he made. You can't. If he had leapt over that, he would have been absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. So yeah, I was wrong on ulting Diana. Again, another mistake I made, because she had dove it in, which means the rest of the team is going to be on Diana, which is their main source of damage, which means she's probably going to be brought down by the rest of his team. That was the same deal as when he ulted the Nautilus near Baron. There's really not a lot of point to it, or use, especially because he's own. Why did I ever think alter? It was so stupid. Okay, my bad, guys. Sorry. Yeah, he can take them both out here. Oh, Perseverance Mastery broken. Nautilus just gained a chunk of health from it. He can kill this though. So anyways, as I was saying, what was I saying? Oh yeah, ults, don't ults. Oh yeah, you never want to ult a guy with Zhonya's, especially because they can just Zhonya's your ult, and your entire team is on them as well, so it's going to do next to nothing. What he should have done is held the ult. Doesn't want to ult Leona. Not only is she pretty invaluable, but she's got insane amount of armor. Doesn't want to ult Volibear, again, an insane amount of armor, and he really doesn't do anything, and Zed's not going to be able to kill him feasibly. The two targets he wants to ult, one target he wants to ult, because again, Nautilus has an insane amount of armor, is Ezreal. Ezreal is the biggest member of the enemy team that doesn't have Zhonya's. He has no way of dealing with the Zed. If Zed just goes on him, he will be able to kill him. And that's the only target you can feasibly get to that actually matters on the enemy team. Feasibly get to and kill. So, he's only going to want to really ult Ezreal. Or if there's like a half health Volibear, maybe. Not there, because it would have been too risky. But, alright. There. He wants to kill her. Okay. Okay. That was not a bad ult, because he finished her off. If you cannot get to the Ezreal to ult him, or if Ezreal is not there in the fight, then it is 100% reasonable to ult someone else, because they might not have gotten Leona if he hadn't ulted that and they were running anyways. Ooh, he missed that. Oh, dunked. Oh, dead. Yeah, Zed should. Oh, he was really low. That was bad of Jarvan. If Jarvan had hit that knock up, which Ez didn't even really juke. Free kill. So yeah, as a whatever, Wit's End is a terrible item on Kha'Zix. What did I say? Oh yeah, it's fine to ult the target if they're like low health, even if they aren't that important, just to kill them as they run away. If you're not gonna get them anyways, which you have to make sure that you're not gonna get them anyways before you do that. It can be hard balancing everything. Ooh, FPS lag. That's not fun. He probably could have full to 0 Ez there. I mean, Ez has no armor, he's just going full damage, and the burst on Zed is insane. Almost definitely could have ulted Zed and just killed him, and there were like 4 mid, so it was no worry of being killed. Before he killed Zed. Maybe he would have died after he killed Zed, but, you know, at least, I mean Ezreal, but at least Ezreal will be dead. Wow, he died. He should have. Now, granted, that was on speed mode, and I didn't get a huge picture of what happened, but you just always got to be careful around champions like Leona and Ezreal, because they each have so much CC and damage together that it can just be extremely hard to kill them and live. The reason I'm not going to fast forward, even though we lagged out, is because it doesn't matter. He missed his W, he could have killed Ez. Sona, beast mode! Sona can kill him really, really easily. She should be attacking. She's got to auto attack when you have Lich Bane and Dracula. There's no one alive on their team, right? Except for, yeah, see? Who's giving fallback things? Last Whisper's not a bad buy at all either, because the enemy team has so much armor. That one I didn't include in my core build because you only get that when they just are just stacking armor. Like, it's, you pretty much are always going to want to have a Last Whisper, but when you get it, depends 100% on how much armor they're building.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Which is why I didn't really include it in my build. It's so situational. Generally, just get it if the targets you want to kill have armor. Oh wow, okay, we're gonna rewatch that. Whoops, I made a slash. Alright, I think that was where the start occurred. The fight started, wow. Not interesting 14 slip. Okay. They missed that, so they don't want to fight here. They're missing a stone ult, which is really important. But they're doing it anyway, because they kind of cut on him. That knock got missed. He should have ulted and dunked him to kill him. Alright, so right now, okay. Alright. Okay, sorry about that. Look, she's got a little halo. That's pretty cool. Look at that. It's pretty. Okay, I'm going to stop making sound. Right now, the fight is starting. Ezreal's coming in, Diana just rushed it. Diana immediately zones, which means as soon as that ends, the whole team's going to get on her. She's going to die immediately because she flashed earlier in a fight down here. I am pretty sure. So she's going to get chopped and destroyed, which means you don't have to ult her. Bulber's full health and tanky. You're not going to be able to kill him. Look at Leona, half health and got armor and really doesn't matter anyways. Just let her be. This is the man you want to go for. You're going to want a W over here. Oh, you don't have W. Alright, that's kind of awkward. Then you're going to want to immediately run, stand back, W in, ult this guy, and kill him. Because he is far back, he's going to be dealing a lot of damage, and that's your one goal. Alright, we're going to watch this fight slow-mo. It's of course, we sped it up. Wow, I'm stupid. Alright, ball off, fight starts. Alright, so where's Zed? Zed's back here. He's holding back. Alright, now he's got to go in on her. Go on Ez. Go on Ez. See, right here? He went in on Leona. No, that's not what you want to do at all. Now, they won the fight because his team is so big. But if we rewatch that, Leona's already pretty low here. And him ulting her, she was pretty much dead even without that ultimate. Now the person you would want to go for is Ezreal or even Nautilus, because killing the Nautilus, well, first of all, Nautilus was farther back, so there's a much less chance his team is going to kill him. Second of all, Nautilus was lower health. No, that doesn't matter. Second of all, Ezreal is a high priority target who has a lot of damage and can stop them from pushing and winning the game. So something you want to make sure you do is just prioritize correctly. Look at armor, look at HP, look at the importance of the fight, look at positioning, look at what your team is doing. All of that is important stuff, and who you choose to kill. Now he's not doing anything here, so I'm just gonna fast forward.
Blue team has slain the dragon.
Lag from start, whatever. Like, I don't care why people are always upset when they do bad in tutoring. It's like, you guys do realize that if you do bad, that means there's more that I can tutor on, which means the better you're gonna get after this game. I don't know why everyone's so upset. I can't possibly lose this game. This is bad. He wants to go with the team. He doesn't want to be doing Baron. These two doing Baron is really, really stupid. Like, even if they do get it, it's risky. He just smite. I thought Jarvan smoked super early. Or maybe that was Nautilus. Okay, they got the Baron, and now they're gonna win the team fight. But what would have been just a lot safer. Now, this did end up working out, but it wasn't guaranteed. If they had just won the team fight and then gone and done Baron, they would have ensured that there was going to be no steal to be had. The enemy team was dead. They could have just won the game straight after the Baron. Or, even better, don't even Baron at all. Just win the team fight and then go win the game. Doing that Baron there was just a little bit risky and pointless. I know, he's going to want ult. He could have ulted Ez there. And easily pulled 0'd him. He's got to be better at ulting Ez and just ulting at earlier points. See, right here he ults. No, he's just going to want to go back to his ult time. As soon as the enemy, see, he W'd away and flashed there when he had an ult tone to go back to right here. And I play Zed a lot, and so you really get used to these nuances of Zed. And you always got to be thinking about where your shadows are, how they can be of use to you. Like if you're being chased, you're going to want to go to your shadow so you can slow them with the shadow slow. Or maybe you want the double Q from your shadow as well. I don't know, a lot of things. But you want to be always aware he's going to kill that. Oh no, he dodged it. You're always going to want to be aware of that, of where your shadows are, and how you can always go back to them to benefit yourself. There's no need to flash and W away when you have an alt clone right there that you can just go to. So guys, that was my tutoring. Mr. Cre8v. I have no idea what your name is, but I hope you enjoyed. You guys have any like suggestions or whatever for my tutorings in general, how they're run, you can just say them in the comments. I would be more than willing to oblige, but every single time I have said, say it in the comments. No one has said it in the comments, so I'm not changing what I'm doing for you. So guys, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Don't feel bad if you did bad, which you didn't even do. And if you have any questions for me or anything at all, I guess just ask me. So I will see you all later, and Cre8v, or whatever your name is, I will see you in Diamonds.